Our meeting is called Town Meeting. Setting inside a town hall, 1749 and today. It's April 5th, 1749. The people of Hillsborough are meeting to discuss a problem. Townspeople from the southern part of Hillsborough want to form their own town. People are arriving now. Let's listen in.
Hello, Ebenezer. I'm glad to see you here. Was your journey as difficult as mine?
Yes, it was awful. Thanks to the rain, the mud was almost up to my knees.
Indeed. The trip took me 4 hours.
This is why we need our own town. It's just too hard to get here.
Good day, Sarah. Hello, Ebenezer. I couldn't help hearing what you said. I'm sorry for the trouble.
Good day, Betsy. So you understand our problem?
I know you have hardships, but I hate to think of you leaving us.
It would be sad to separate from Hillsborough, but traveling to town is just too difficult.
Hillsborough Center has grown up far from our farms. Families who move to Hillsborough today make their homes closer to the town center.
The town hall, school, church, and shops are all there.
True, but if you leave Hillsborough, we shopkeepers might suffer. We could lose many of our best customers. I understand, Betsy, but even if farming families leave Hillsborough, new families will settle near the town center. We may leave, but your store will still thrive. I suppose you're right.
Let us take our seats. It's almost time to start.
When everyone is seated, the meeting begins.
I represent the families living south of the Swift River. We want to form a new town. We could build a town center closer to our farms.
For how many families do you speak, Ebenezer?
About 40 families, I'd say.
That would be a heavy loss. What does the treasurer think?
If taxpayers leave, we may not have enough money to keep the town going.
I have something to add.
Yes, Sarah, please go ahead.
Why should we support a town we can't even get to? We pay taxes for the school, but my children hardly ever go. It's too far.
Coming to town is half a day's journey. In bad weather, near impossible.
Perhaps we could build a better road.
Hold on a minute. The town does not have enough money for a new road.
Besides, a new road wouldn't be a shorter road. We are simply too far away. I say it's time for us to part.
It makes me sad to say this, but I believe I must agree.
When the time came to vote, all in favor of splitting the towns voted A. All against it voted nay. In 1749, the only white men who were church members could vote. Robert Elliott announced the result.
The part of Hillsborough north of the Swift River shall remain Hillsborough. The part of south of river shall become South Hillsborough.
More than 250 years later, South Hillsborough is still a town, still holding town meetings. In fact, one is starting now. Let's head to the present and listen in. Come on, you four.
Us?
That's right, we're going to the future.
That sounds like fun.
I'm ready for an adventure.
That's the spirit. Come with me.
Ooh, and I thought the trip to town was a long journey.
Hurry, no time to waste. The meeting is starting at Town Hall. Gomez, a builder, is about to speak.
I'm here today because I want to build a housing development on 20 acres near the edge of town. I think you've all had a chance to read my proposal.
I've read it, and I have a few questions.
Sure, go ahead. May I ask your name? I don't believe we met.
Sorry, my name is Steve D. Rosa. My property is next to the land I want to develop. I'm worried about the project.
Please explain.
Mr. Gomez wants to cut down 20 acres of wood, reduce trees, wildlife, hiking trails. We need more open land in town, not less.
My name is Harriet Johnson, and I agree we should protect our land.
I understand, but my development would help many people. For example, it would give 40 families a chance to own a home here. Can I comment on that? My name is Lynn Shea. I own a flower shop in town. I support the development. We need more houses.
More people in town would be good for business, that's for sure.
True. That's not why I support it, though. I rent an apartment, but I'd like to own a home. There aren't enough houses in South Hillsborough for everyone who wants to buy one.
I wonder how the new homes would affect our schools.
What do you mean?
These new families would add more children to our schools. The schools would become crowded.
We need bigger schools and more teachers. That would mean raising taxes.
Not necessarily. The people in the new development will pay taxes. The taxes will add money to the town treasury.
But will it be enough? New people will use more services. Police, fire protection. I still think we need to raise taxes.
I certainly don't think we need to pay more taxes.
I'm retired. My income is small and I can't afford higher taxes. Just as 1749, after everyone has turned to speak, it is time to vote. At the end of the meeting, all in favor of vote aye. A.
A.
Then all who are against the will say nay.
Nay.
Look at that. Everyone at the town meeting can vote now, even the women. How wonderful. I knew it would happen one day.
Well, the nays have it. The people is defeated. Now let's bring the two groups together. You four, 1749, please step forward.
Hey, who are they?
Ladies and gentlemen, please meet four residents of Hillsborough and South Hillsborough. They voted and quite a trip to get here today, all the way from 1749.
Wow, and I thought I had to travel a long way to get to work.
They are here today to offer some advice. Let's ask them what they think about building 40 new houses in South Hillsborough. Betsy?
I can't even imagine it. Why don't the 40 families start their own town like we did?
All the land around here is taken. There's no land that isn't part of the town.
That's right. The number of people who can't live in our town is growing, but the land area can't get any bigger.
May I ask a question?
Fire away.
Well, since the land area can't get any bigger, people must be living on smaller and smaller pieces of land. How can you farm?
Not many farmers live here nowadays. People mostly work for companies or run their own business.
There are still farms, just not as many around here.
If you have a few farms in South Hillsborough, how do you get food to eat?
Food is shipped from all over the country, all over the world actually. At my shop, I sell tulips from Holland and tropical flowers from Hawaii.
Hawaii?
From very far away.
But how is that possible? The food must spoil on its journey, and flowers must wilt.
We have forms of transportation that you can't even imagine, much faster than the horses and wagons. And containers that keep things cold even in the summer.
But why ship flowers? In our day, we could just pick wildflowers right out of the field.
We still have wildflowers, but I sell many different kinds of flowers, types that don't grow here.
If people don't produce their own food, do they buy it in shops?
Yes, some people have vegetable gardens, but mostly we buy food at the market.
All of it? Even cow's milk?
Especially milk. You can get milk at a gas station.
Gas station?
Never mind.
Let's get back to the question, shall we? And the question is, what is the best way for South Hillsborough to grow? You live in this area back when South Hillsborough was founded. Do you have any questions?
I think if people wish to live here, they should be able to. A growing town is good for business. I say there should be limits. Otherwise, you will soon have people living on top of one another.
Actually, we already do. My apartment is on the 5th floor on the 6th-story building.
My goodness. You could allow homes or shops to be built in certain parts of town. Leave other parts as forests or fields.
Good thinking.
That gives me an idea. What if I come back with a plan to build 10 new houses in a recreation area?
Sounds interesting to me.
That might work well. I'd like to know more.
Whatever you decide, do not spend more money than you have.
Excellent advice. And now this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all. Goodbye.
May I walk out with you? I'd like to hear about your flower shop. What do you sell besides wild flowers?
I want to know what a gas station is. Can you tell me more?
Tell me what could be faster than a horse at full gallop.
May I ask you some questions? I was a history teacher and I've always wondered.
If I know the past and the present, I wonder if I could get the future in on this conversation maybe next time.
Rivertown. The setting, General Store in Otter's Landing, summer day, 1826. The river where Emma Sharp lives is like a highway. People, goods, and news are carried from place to place. Today is Emma's birthday, and she wishes for something only the river can bring. But today is busier than usual at her family store and inn. Very busy.
Morning, Miss Hall.
Good morning, Mr. Sharp.
I trust you slept well at the inn.
Yes, thank you. It was delightful. If you don't mind bed bugs.
After dinner, ma'am. Can I get you something?
Yes, I was hoping. Father, a flatboat's coming down the river. It's a big one.
Emma, mind your manners.
Oh, sorry. Pardon me, ma'am. Father, may I go watch it dock? I'm finished with the sweeping.
Can I go too? The wood is all stacked.
Please, Father.
Go ahead, but don't get underfoot.
And come right back. There's still much to do here.
I'll see if anyone needs help, and then we'll be back.
As I was saying, I wondered if you had something for...
Good morning.
Hello, Sam.
My list is short today. Nails, molasses, coffee, packet of needles, pie pan, pitcher, salt, a new comb. Sally stepped on her favorite one, and she's beside herself. Stick of licorice if you've got some. Beeswax. Did I say that?
That's a short list. Well, yes, for Sam. No matter how long it is, Sam always adds in the licorice, and Mr. Sharp always says the same thing.
My word, Samuel Moore. Is it your birthday? It's not. Well, then what have you got for trade?
Corn, butter, eggs. Look at my wagon.
Now, Mrs. Sharp, if you please, I need something for...
Ma'am has got feathers. Can we use feathers?
Yes, for that old bed at the inn. For the bed bugs. Oh, I'm itchy. If you don't mind.
Of course. Skeeters are pesky this season too, aren't they? Here's some witch hazel. Made it up myself. Very soothing. Today is Emma's birthday, not Mr. Moore's. That's a good one, joke.
While the Sharps are busy in the store, the flatboat approaches the landing. The men on board use large oars to bring it in, and Rob helps them tie it up.
Thank you, friend.
Not at all. How was your trip?
The storm last week made a mess. We hit a big snag below Hensville. Trees down the river. Hope it's better between here and the city. We've got corn from up the river to go to market.
Up at the store. My father will have some goods for you.
We also brought the Hawkins family down the river, 6 all told.
Where are they from?
East of Hensville, heading somewhere, not settling here at our landing, somewhere south. They would be on foot, hoping to hitch a ride. Imagine their road.
Wasn't that Sam Moore's wagon up at the store? Yeah, I saw it coming in. He lives out past Round Top. He might give them a ride. He walked the whole way to help somebody out. Rob and Emma watch the activity on the flatboat as the boatman talks to the Hawkins family. The group leaves the dock and heads to the store. Emma doesn't look very happy. Emma, what's the matter? We'll be fine. I want to stay here and wait for the steamboat. But we need you at the store. It was supposed to come 2 days ago, and it hasn't come yet. I know. That's why Miss Hall and those other English people are still here. I love the steamboat whistle. I haven't heard it since I was 9. I see. And now you're ancient. 10? You know I am. I thought you were worried about that family. Well, you know what Mother says. A watched pot never boils. Let's go back. We have chores to do. I just like the big sound. The way it bounces off the water makes my hair stand up. Is that what it does?
Well, we should look. Wait. Well, we should look. Trading boat coming upriver.
Rob, look, over there.
Another flatboat. Let's go tell Father. Maybe we can get back to watch them come in.
They race to the store and Rob lets Emma win. The more wagons are tied up in front. The Hawkins family looks a little weary and are talking about a rest at the end. It's busy inside the store, so Rob and Emma have to stay to help them help. The stirring cloth will make good work pants. How much do you need?
The roads are better from here to the city. Weather permit, Jim?
5 bushels of bean. Yes, sir. We can send those to the market. This morning's flatboat will be going out soon.
I think I'll stay a while, see what the boat brings in. Never seen it like this. Mighty quiet where I live.
When will the steamboat arrive? Does anyone know? We've been waiting days. Days!
Maybe they had engine trouble. Steam engines are tricky. Sometimes they blow sky high.
Yeah, they say you should sit as far from the engine as possible, just in case.
Oh, dear.
I'm ready to start loading. Good, we've got beans. Two. Let's step outside, Rob. I'll need your help.
It's late in the day. Time has passed quickly for everyone but Emma and Mrs. Hall.
This is pure tedium. I say we must find another way to get to Hillsville. Mr. Sharp, is there a carriage for hire?
The stagecoach now to rest of the tomorrow. No carriage otherwise made.
I was so much wishing to hear that whistle today.
Cheer up, Emma. We'll have a party with the neighbors after supper. I made you even pancakes.
I know. It's a steamboat. It's coming. Gracious. Listen, the steamboat, listen.
How can we with you carrying on?
Let's go.
Yes.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
When the steamboat docks, everyone and all of the Otters Landing townspeople watch as the gangplank is laid between the riverbank and the boat. Passengers get off. Freight is unloaded. The Sharps talk with the steamboat captain. Hello, Captain. You have quite a haul.
Yes, indeed. Several families plus households, goods, and livestock. Some are letting near here, settling near here. They'll want supplies.
I know just where they can get them.
Excuse me, Captain. I'm Mrs. Hall. What has kept you?
Mechanical difficulties, ma'am. They're fine. We're fine now. Just don't let me go over 3 miles an hour.
Oh, no.
When will you be back down this way?
In about a week, I'll have hogs and wheat and whatnot. Well, we'll do business then. Miss Hall, I advise you to get yourself aboard if you're coming.
Captain.
Hello, Miss Emma. Haven't seen you in a long while.
Guess what day it is? Guess what day?
Thursday, last I heard.
Guess again.
The day the boat was late once more because the captain was stumped by the question of
It's my birthday.
is this so? Well, now that might you want for your birthday? Let me think. It's coming back to me now.
When the steamboat chugged very slowly away from Otter's Landing, Mrs. Hall safely on board. Oh, she did come to appreciate Mrs. Sharp's itchy remedy, and she said so, kindly. Look, the Sharps and the townspeople are waving goodbye from the riverbank.
Now!
Boop, boop, boop.
Oh.
Our play is Civil Rights Now. This takes place in a classroom in a town park. Mr. Tran's class is studying the civil rights movement. How better to learn it than to talk to people who were there? Today, Lisa's grandmother is speaking about the March on Washington in 1963.
Miss Burke, how did it feel when you heard Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. give his famous speech?
Have you ever got goosebumps all over? That's how I felt. When Dr. King got to "I Have a Dream," it was so moving. At the end, I just burst into tears.
Why were you sad?
Goodness, no, I was full of pride and joy. I couldn't hold it in.
Mrs. Burke, why did you decide to march on Washington? Did you go to hear Dr. King?
Not really. I mean, who knew that Dr. King would become so famous that day? I went because I cared about the civil rights. We went to Washington to show Congress how we felt.
Did they listen, Grandma?
Yes, they did. The next year, in 1964, Congress passed the Civil Rights Act. The law was supposed to end racial discrimination in voting, jobs, and housing.
And did it?
Yes and no. It was a huge step forward. But it didn't solve everything. Time to be going. I'm sorry, children, but I have to be at the town hall at noon.
What are you going to do there?
I'm going to a meeting at the town council. A group of us went to save that little park near the center of town.
The one near the gas station?
That's the one.
Why? It's really run down. Kids never go there.
Park's part of our town history. It was there when we held discriminations in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. We used to march around it chanting. We called it the Peace Park.
Wait, I know that chant. I've heard you say it a lot. Speak out, stand tall. Civil rights belongs to all.
Right. The town council wants to sell the park, but we want to save it.
Goodbye, Mrs. Burke. Thank you for coming in. You've given us a lot to think about.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Wow, Lisa, your grandmother is a real activist. She puts her beliefs into action even after all these years.
Why do you think Mrs. Burke does that?
Because she can?
Yes, that's one reason. In this country, we have the right to say what we think. Why else?
She wants the government to do something or not to do something.
And because citizens in a democracy have a say in our government and what it does.
Meeting with the town council can't compare to the March on Washington or even marching around Peace Park. It seems so boring.
Thinking about things you care about isn't boring. That's what people did at the March on Washington, didn't they?
The next day's guest is Dr. Amy Kraft. Dr. Kraft told the class about starting medical school in 1970. There were only 6 women in her class. The other 98 students were men.
Dr. Kraft, wasn't it weird to have hardly any women in your class? It was a little lonely, but I knew I was every bit as smart as the men, or the school would not have accepted me.
Why weren't there more women? There are tons of women doctors now. My doctor didn't know.
So is mine, and I want to be a doctor too.
I want to be a reporter.
And I want to be a wildlife scientist.
Aren't we getting off track?
That's okay. Anyway, back then, not as many women applied to medical school as men. But the real problem was discrimination. Medical schools wouldn't let anyone in.
Did you just march in protest to change that?
Not just one protest, many. Women and men marched, wrote letters, and signed petitions.
Did the protest work?
In 1972, Congress passed a law that made discrimination in education illegal. Since then, more women have become doctors, nurses, as well as business executives and firefighters.
Do you know about the meeting to save the park downtown?
No, I don't. What's it all about?
Well, the town wants to sell the park to some builder. Some people, though, like my grandma, want to save it. They say it's part of our history.
If the meetings don't work, will people start a protest?
Shouldn't protests be for more important things like equal rights, not just for little parks?
But the park is important. And if something is important to you, you have the right and responsibility to speak out. We go together.
Maybe we should do something.
I think that's a good idea, but now I should be going. Don't want to keep my patients waiting.
Dr. Kraft, thanks for talking to us today. We've learned a lot.
You're welcome.
Goodbye. Thank you.
The class has one more guest this week. Henry Kaminsky is a retired newspaper reporter. He also happens to be Mr. Tran's uncle.
Uncle Henry, can you tell the class what civil rights movements you covered as a reporter?
In the 1960s, I wrote about Cesar and Chavez, the migrant farm workers. Movement later, I covered the American Indian rights movement.
Did every group have a movement of equal rights?
Many did, full civil rights in the way. Watching protests and changes kept me very busy. I traveled all over with my dog, Henry,
Why did you name him Headline?
because he was always trying to get attention. Get it?
Oh, Uncle Henry.
That's a great name. But I didn't know American Indians had a protest.
Oh, yes. And some of them really got people's attention.
What did they do?
In 1969, a group of American Indians took over the Galapagos Island. That's in San Francisco Bay. They stayed for a year and a half.
Wow. Why did they do it?
They did it to make a point. The government took land from the American Indians in the past, so they decided to take over the property.
Well, did it work? Did they get equal rights?
Well, the government made some important changes, but there's always more to do. True equity is hard to achieve.
Being a reporter sounds exciting. I can't wait to be one. Did you ever meet Cesar Chavez?
Yes, I interviewed him. He was a great fisher. He must have had a sense of humor, too. He named his dog Boycott.
That's funny.
Boycott and Heron got along really well.
What do you think about the movement to save the park?
Peace Park. I saw an article about that. I say go for it. We need that park, not just for demonstrations, but for enjoying nature.
You can't really enjoy nature there. There's litter, weeds, the benches are broken. It's a mess.
So clean it up. That park reminds us that civil rights are precious.
We could write a petition to save the park. If a lot of people signed it, that might help.
I could write about it in the school paper.
We could organize a cleanup. That will show that we really care about the park.
Maybe the town will plant flowers and fix the fountain and benches. They could put on a thing that tells about the park's history.
A plaque.
Right, a plaque with Peace Park on it.
Great idea. Oops, it's time. It's almost time for lunch. Uncle Henry, thanks again for coming in.
Yes, thank you.
No problem, my pleasure. So what's on lunch menu?
Want to eat in the cafeteria?
Hey, it's not often I get to have lunch with my family.
I hope you like fast food.
Fast food, I thought it was just cafeteria food.
Right. And you have to eat it fast before you taste it.
The next Saturday afternoon, Peace Park is alive with activity.
Speak out,
Stand tall. Keep the park as a place for all. Grandma, I'm glad you could help with our petition and cleanup.
You and your friends have really gotten involved. Reminds me of the old days. Hi, Dr. Kraft. Want to sign our petition? Sure do. I see you've already got a lot of signatures. That's great.
Hello, Mr. Kaminsky. Did you sign our petition? Is that your dog?
Yes, meet Headline. I'd be happy to sign. It's great to see many people here. A lot of young people too.
Until recently, I didn't think things like this were important.
It's always important when it comes to civil rights.
We're not demanding civil rights today.
No, today we're exercising our civil rights.
Anybody want to get another kind of exercise and help me load these trash bags into the truck?
Good idea, I hope.
I'm going to get more signatures.
Well, I think I'll collect signatures with nuts on headline.
Afterwards, can I show you my article for the school paper? It's called Civil Rights Now.
Speak out, stand tall, keep the park as a place for all.